What is up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. It has been a while since I've been able to stream. I was having some problems with YouTube, so looks like we're back. So give me a minute to set everything up, share everything out, and we'll get started. Hey, what's up, Anthony? How you doing tonight? Playing Bolt Gun? I've never heard of Bolt Gun. Let me know if you can see and hear everything okay. I wasn't able to, I was messing with my PlayStation account and it screwed with my YouTube account and it wasn't letting me stream for a while. And I finally got everything fixed out. I've been looking forward to this one for a while. Oh, nice. That sounds cool. Okay, I think we might be ready. Let me know if you guys can see and hear everything okay. You can still get achievements with invincibility mode. That is kind of that is definitely cheating. And let's try this. I hope the choices we make actually do affect everything. I mean, this was made by the same people that made the Walking Dead Telltale games. They made the Batman Telltale games. Hey, what's up, Anthony? How you doing tonight? Or, hey, what's up, Chad? How you doing? Welcome to the stream, brother. I liked your WWE stream earlier. That was pretty cool. Those were all the classics.
Stardate 57931.4. The crew is restless. After spending too many months piecing our ship back together, we're finally about to venture out on a new mission. And the crew isn't letting this unprecedented ion storm slow them down. They're ready for something different. I know I am. Perhaps more than anything.
Dealing with food poisoning? I thought I had food poisoning the other day.
Fortunately, nothing ever
I hope you get over that, brother. Food
It's
poisoning is not good.
nature of the universe.
How long ago were you poisoned?
Change is inevitable.
I think that can last for
And
like
while
12
everyone
hours.
says order gives way to chaos, in this case, change is good. Our new first officer is en route to the Resolute. Jara Rydek. I know she'll bring a welcome dose of new blood to the crew.
My uniform's outdated by like 15 years.
Thanks.
No problem.
I'm not great with flying. But these little shuttles are the worst.
You don't like flying. And yet, you joined Starfleet.
There's a reason I'm not a pilot.
You should try it sometime.
Been sick since late last night to this morning. Yeah, I think food poisoning lasts about 12 hours.
Sorry, I'm a little anxious.
I hadn't noticed.
I'm on my way to my first assignment. When we get to the starbase, I'm transferring on to the Resolute.
This game's already looking a little glitchy. I know it's not a PS5 game, it's a PS4 game, and I'm expecting it to run like a typical Telltale game.
For Chara to step in at the 11th hour like this. But if she's half the officer I knew she could become when she was a cadet at Starfleet Academy, she'll be the XO this ship needs right now.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that does sound like an interesting game. I don't know if it'd definitely be my style.
A starbase on the very edge of Federation space. Long way from home now.
That's cool. Definitely feels like a PS4 style game.
Commander? I'm not usually such a nervous wreck, by the way. I actually did well at the Academy.
Oh yeah?
Maybe you've heard of the Torvalin test?
Sounds familiar.
It's a tactical simulator that makes the Kobayashi Maru look like a picnic on Pintaris 5. Anyway, I finished in the top 20. Not just in my class. I mean, all time. In the history of the Academy.
Really? That's quite impressive.
Thank you. It was tough. But you know, I set my mind to it and it paid off.
Nice. Is it a free-to-play game or what? I may check it out.
Hold it there for a few seconds. Welcome, Commander Rydek.
Wait, you're Jara Rydek? You absolutely crushed the
Oh, nice.
Torvalin
That's not too
test.
bad. $25.
You finished in what, like the top 3?
That would be me.
Now I'm really... It's an honor to meet you, Commander. Sorry, I didn't realize before. I just came off the shuttle and was glad to be on solid ground.
Well, now you know. Keep your eyes and ears open and you might pick up on things.
I believe Commander Ermot is expecting you. He's in the concourse just ahead.
See you on the Resolute.
I hope this game's pretty cool. I heard it's extremely story-driven, so that's kind of what I'm looking for.
Good day, Commander.
Is that gonna be my ship?
If I remember my briefing, Commander Ermont is a Bolian. so I'm looking for someone with blue skin.
You're going to the Resolute too?
Yeah. Not the ship I was hoping for.
This has almost like a Mass Effect vibe right here. Oh, you did get your money back. That was from the bank fraud thing, wasn't it?
Excuse me, have you seen a Bolian around here?
Yes, sir. Right back there, near the replicator.
Ah, there he is. Thank you.
Happy to help, Commander.
Nice. I watched the first one on Netflix. The second one's on there too. I haven't watched it yet, but I did watch the first one. It was on in the background while I was cleaning house and doing other things, so I picked up most of it.
I'll replicate myself a meal once I'm on board.
That is weird. There's weird stuff going on with YouTube right now because I was messing around with my YouTube account and it locked me out. I was in my I went to my interval account and it wouldn't let me stream. It was letting me post videos, but it wouldn't let me like stream from my PlayStation. And so because I was going to do Star Wars last week and I couldn't do it. And then so I just didn't do anything. And then I had to contact YouTube, and it said it was going to take like a few days to re-verify my account, and it finally went through today. And this game came out today, so I was like, well, I was going to go back and stream Star Wars, but I was like, yeah, I'll stick with this one, something brand new, a day one game, with all of its glitchy bugs and stuff that might happen. You never know what you're going to get with a day one release.
Welcome to the edge of the galaxy, Commander Rydek. I'm Commander Jan Ermont, Operations Officer on the Resolute. Commander? I hope there wasn't too much trouble getting here. This storm isn't making anything easy for us right now.
It was perfectly fine. No trouble at all.
I'm glad to hear it. We're grateful you were able to come fill our first officer vacancy at such short notice. From everything I've read and everything I've heard, we're lucky you were available to us. Coming from a premier starship.
Bolt guns a day one release.
To our little research vessel.
What exactly have you heard
That
about?
just come out today too?
First
Nice.
class at the Academy. Received the Starfleet Award of Valor during the Dominion War. Most recently, Tactical Officer and Chief of Security on the USS Endeavor.
You've done your homework?
Like I said, we're very lucky.
I did see the that Super Mario movie finally. That was pretty good. Have you guys seen that yet? I highly recommend it. Anybody who's a Mario fan is gonna love that game.
She may not look like much
Or love
compared
that
to the
movie.
bigger ships, but as far as science vessels go, she can more than hold her own. And she doesn't look so bad.
Is this the
considering
ship we're
6
gonna be
months
on?
ago, She was nearly cracked in half, venting plasma, fighting for her life.
It was an accident?
The equipment.
You haven't seen it yet? It's worth it. It's should be coming out real soon on like streaming
It was a
services.
planned test, but the warp core was pushed beyond its limits. It destabilized the dilithium, there was a runaway reaction, and the warp bubble deformed. We thought we could reach a higher resonant frequency, but it was more than she could handle. Cost us our first officer and 22 of our crew.
It's a glitching bolt gun, threw a grenade and paused it.
We're all responsible for
I haven't
each
noticed
other.
too many glitches here yet.
That's what it means to be a crew.
I can't even begin to imagine what that must have been like for you.
This definitely feels like a
I'm
PlayStation
so
4
sorry
style
for
game.
this.
Thank you. It does weigh heavy. There are some things you can't forget.
It's been 6 months. What's the attitude among the crew now?
Unsettled. But I hope that a new mission will help them move forward. If not, move on. Listen. I realize you've known Captain Solano for quite some time.
That sucks. I wouldn't be happy
You've done
about
your
that.
best. But I should warn you that when the captain announced you would be the new first officer, there were those who felt it was a mistake, that he should have promoted from within.
So you might want to tread lightly at first. Until they come to value your contributions as much as he does.
Thank you. Always good to have a sense for what you're walking into.
I just thought you ought to know.
I appreciate it.
Starfleet has assigned us a high-priority mission to the Hotari region. I'll let the captain... brief you on board. I know he's eager to see you.
Will we be mission ready in time?
We have every intention.
The crew has been working around the clock to get the ship ready. There's
That's
still
kind
so
of a
much to
cool
do.
looking starship. Not the one I would have picked, but okay. As soon as you unpaused it, it corrected itself. Well, that's cool. At least it's not something you needed a patch to get.
Stuck. I got just the thing.
Yeah, it is. I'm a little, I'm gonna get back to it. I'll probably stream it tomorrow, but this one came out and I was like, I wanted to stream one of those, you know, it's been a while since I streamed one of these story-style games, and I did, what was it, the Tales from the Borderlands, the new one? That one was just so horrible. Left a bad taste in my mouth. I'm really hoping this one makes up for it. And I don't know, from what I read, this one's just 40 chapters, but the chapter's only about 10-15 minutes. So this one's about a 10-hour game, which is about typical for the Telltale style games. Puzzles so far seem pretty... I don't really know what I'm doing. Seems pretty easy though. MK1 game will be 100 gigabytes. I'll be getting MK1 when it comes out. I'm kicking myself because I know I'm going to get it. But I want to wait an entire year before it comes out and just buy it for like $25 once everything's released with it. Yeah, I did see the John Cena Peacemaker and Homelander leak for it. But, yeah, what I was talking about, DK paid like $120, $200. He paid a lot to get the season pass and all the bullshit for Mortal Kombat 11. And then, you know, I got it like a year later. And mine, I got everything for like $70, $80. So I don't know if I don't, you know, I want to play Mortal Kombat like right when it comes out. Which I probably will. I'll probably just bite the bullet and play it and not get all the expansive extra characters and stuff.
Is that?
We'll see. I'm not a fan of the marketing for the Mortal Kombat franchise. I wish they would put the game out and you get the full game. Now, here's the game, and then we're going to put characters out later on.
I thought the thing was totally fried.
Why do they need to reboot the franchise? It's not a reboot, really. They're going back in time to the very first Mortal Kombat ever. You know, because when you meet our characters in the original Mortal Kombat back in the 90s, that was like the 400th tournament.
Like, now.
So if, you know, that was their 400th tournament. So, you know, Mortal Kombat 1, in, you know, from our perspective in history is actually Mortal Kombat 400. So we're going back, when they reset time, they went back to the very first Mortal Kombat tournament, when the very first Liu Kang, or whatever, Kung Lao, like, won the very first Mortal Kombat tournament. So, I mean, I can kind of get behind it, that's the perspective, because they've rebooted Mortal Kombat twice already. They did the Midway Mortal Kombat with the arcade games, and then Deadly Alliance, Deception, and then Armageddon, and ended it with Armageddon. Rebooted it with Mortal Kombat, the 2009 one. And that's where you get 9, 10, 11, 12, or 9, 10, 11, and then rebooted it again. Raiden's a human with an origin story. Yeah, they got to go somewhere with it, so I'm not too surprised. I can get behind it. I prefer the Mortal Kombat storyline to like the Street Fighter 2 storyline.
Time's a wasted.
Oh, these are heavier than they look. Makes more sense than zero G. You're welcome. So clean I can see myself. And you know what? Not half bad.
Oh, it's conveniently blocked.
Don't let LT catch you blocking the corridors like this.
We'll clear it up once we finish the delicate work. Good looking out, though. Not after the retrofit. Bulkhead cuts it off at Section 2. New computer reroutes.
So then...
I'm thinking we'll have to do the work in that tube. Then take the turbo lift from Section 2 to Section 3.
But wait, there's a subfloor crossing
Hey, need any help? Okay, good luck.
I can't run.
Engineering.
I heard the new XO just arrived. Won't be long before we get underway. I just hope whatever Chovak called us down for, it's something good. I can never tell.
Yeah, I look forward to the characters coming out in Mortal Kombat 1, seeing what new characters they got. The trailer for it looked really badass.
Orders are orders, Neil. You know what they say? There are no small missions. Every expedition has a purpose.
Even if we don't know what it is yet.
Nice. Yeah, that game sounds fun, Anthony.
Looks like we got here before.
Lieutenant Commander Chovak.
We were just looking for you, Commander.
Petty Officers Ed Solar, Diaz. I was beginning to think you would be late. We are all hands on deck right now, which means if you are not at your post at the appointed time, I do not have someone to replace you. A point I have been forced to make to Petty Officer Edsolar on repeated occasions.
Apologies for the delay, Commander.
I do not want your apologies. Simply see
I may play this guy real humble, and then I'll play the commander like a straight stone cold bitch.
So, I don't suppose you wanted us down here to check in before we go off duty?
I have no idea. I have no idea what kind of story this is going to be at all. I have no idea where they're going with it. Like, as far as the plot goes,
the subspace distortions
your guess is as good as mine.
We are experiencing are preventing the proper calibration. But this ship must be ready to depart shortly, despite the storm. The precise nature of these disturbances are not fully understood. But many systems have been affected by the wide band of emissive activity.
Whatever it throws at us, we'll be ready. We've got the best chief engineer in the fleet.
I am a Vulcan, Mr. Diaz. Flattery is not necessary. All that I require is that you do your job. Right now, that entails critical preparations, because long-range sensors show that these disturbances...
You haven't watched Star Trek in a long time. I'll pick it up like the Next Generation and throw them on in the background every now and again when I'm doing stuff.
Yes, Commander Chovak.
Season 3 of Picard was pretty decent.
hands
I
on
really
deck.
liked that one.
Oh,
I didn't care for the other
what's that?
seasons.
All hands on deck. That's what Chovok said. You know what that means? It means this ship isn't ready to go out and the brass know it. So they're throwing every warm body at it. And they're going to leave on schedule. Consequences be damned.
Yeah, Jedi Survivor has that. I hate that with the resurrecting the vehicles.
It all comes down to us, Nelly. We're the ones who get it ready.
I know what we can do. But this isn't just any old refit or any old relaunch.
Oh, whoa.
Excuse me.
Watch it, dude.
A lot of new faces coming on board. It's gotta be tough coming as a replacement. That's for sure.
They seem all right. Something that happened 6 months ago while they were off on another ship? Well, that's nothing to hold against them.
Yeah, you're right. I guess getting a little new blood on board doesn't hurt. Hold on. Now there's an old face I didn't expect to see again. Hey, Miranda!
You weren't gonna leave without me, were you?
Miranda, you're here?
We thought you were staying on the Adirondack.
Transfer came in at the last minute, so I figured I'd slum it on this bucket of bolts. Looks like you got her back together pretty nicely. I wasn't sure what to expect.
I'm gonna take the high road here, pretend you didn't say that, and welcome you aboard.
He's a better diplomat than I am.
He still owes me a bottle of Saurian brandy. Don't think I forgot.
Oh yeah, it's coming back to me now.
Maybe Carter can rustle up that bottle and we can give you a proper welcome. As soon as we wrap up this quick little spacewalk.
Here, let me help you.
Thanks.
So what's the word? Are you back in the security rotation?
Yep. Still running with the usual suspects.
Whoa.
Good to go. See you on the other side.
Is that a love interest? A potential love interest?
Activating magnetic souls.
That's cool looking.
That view never gets old.
Let's go.
Alright, don't get to actually spacewalk.
Captain Solano should be here momentarily. You'll have to forgive me, I don't know much about Kobleods. But my understanding is you need a steady supply of duridium to keep your cell structure stabilized, or bad things start to happen. And we have plenty of duridium in sickbay, so there's no risk of running out.
Thank you.
Feel free to make yourself at home. And help yourself to whatever you like from the replicator.
Ooh, can we make ourselves a taco?
Just a sip of something.
A sip of coffee. A sip of coffee for ya. That was a Bit Ahead 1000 reference, if anyone knows.
Perfect temperature. Don't know how they do it.
They can make it go away too. That's cool. That's freaking perfect for me. I could beam in a hamburger, take like 3 bites, and then beam it away.
From the academy. You'd already secured one of the most prestigious assignments possible. And you were burning with enough ambition to fuel 7 trips around the Necrit Expanse.
It's good to see you again.
That is cool. I didn't pick up on that.
I could not be happier to have you on the Resolute. The only regret is we couldn't provide you with a warmer welcome. The arrival of a first officer to her new ship deserves a bit of fanfare. But, unfortunately, we've had our hands full with the refit.
I have to admit, I was expecting something bigger.
I was expecting a bigger
Just a
ship.
marching band or a parade.
We'll see if we can't make up for it somehow. As I'm sure you've heard, we've had a rough go of it these last 6 months. The ship suffered some damage, but not nearly as much as the crew.
You'll have to forgive me. I don't really know the details.
Starfleet has been kind enough to keep the story contained, probably because they want to protect me. But I don't mind telling you. We were on the verge of a major scientific breakthrough. A quantum leap forward in warp core technology. 10,000 teradynes per second. The ability to travel at a sustained rate of speed longer and faster than we ever dreamed. What would have been the crowning achievement of my career. Right there. Within our grasp. Till it all went so horribly wrong. We pushed her too hard, and a warp core malfunction overloaded the system, creating a pressure gradient way beyond what the ship can handle. It was heartbreaking. We lost some of our best people. As captain, I have to take full responsibility. It was my decision to make, and I have to live with the consequences.
We all know the risks when we sign up. There are no guarantees. As much as we tell ourselves otherwise.
True. But as captain, my job is to mitigate and manage the risks as much as possible. And that's where I failed. In my defense, I will say I might have avoided the whole ordeal if my senior staff had been willing to trust me. There was a lot of pushback from my former XO. I think that cost me his confidence. I don't want you to pull any punches. Certainly not on my account. But once we decide on a course of action, I need everyone to fully commit to the mission. Anything short of that just won't work. And that's when things start to go sideways.
Whether I agree or disagree, I can promise that I'll be honest to a fault.
Good. That's exactly what I'm looking for. But at the end of the day, it has to be my call. Look, I'll be blunt. We can't afford another mistake. Or at least, I can't. I feel like my career is hanging in the balance here. We need a win. Something to restore the crew's confidence.
I understand.
On a more positive note, Starfleet has tasked us with what they're calling a mission of the highest priority. Escorting a senior diplomat to Hotari space. 2 previously peaceful and otherwise non-aggressive civilizations now find themselves on the brink of all-out war.
So it's a peacekeeping mission.
I see it as a golden opportunity.
What is up, Sniper Brother? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. It's been a while.
But also, a mission for which we're uniquely qualified. This ionic storm. Our long-range sensors suggested several orders of magnitude stronger.
Hope
than
everything's
anything
going well with you, brother.
A total anomaly like nothing we've seen before. And you'll never guess where it leads.
Hotari.
Exactly. Very nearly in the precise location where we're headed. Where I imagine the interference will be exponentially greater.
But are we prepared to embark on the mission?
Having tea, nice.
I think that's true. I have my doubts.
Is that your afternoon tea?
I expect
Yeah, everything's going pretty good here.
when we arrive, so I need you to prepare the crew.
Nice to be back on YouTube again. I was kind of locked out of my own account for a while. I had to get it back from YouTube. That was a long story.
Ultimate measure of your success.
What is it?
If after serving as my first officer, you don't one day find yourself with a ship of your own, then I will consider it my personal failure.
Yeah, it's getting warm here too.
It's entirely up to you. But it goes without saying, you have my full support.
Hopefully that day comes sooner rather than later.
Pace yourself. Like I said, when it happens is entirely up to you. But first, you have to be willing to put in the work.
Of course.
Come.
She is going to be
Let me
presumptuous.
introduce you to the crew.
I like being able to walk around the starship. That's cool.
Everyone, if I could have your attention for a moment. I'd like to introduce Commander Jara Rydek, our new first officer. Some quick introductions. This is Lieutenant Handar, our helmsman, one of the best in the business.
One of?
Well, what he lacks in humility, he more than makes up for in ability.
A pleasure to meet you, Commander.
Likewise.
Next, we have Commander Westbrook, our chief science officer. I've come to rely on his expert counsel on a regular basis.
Pleasure.
Which new horror game were you talking about,
Commander
Sniper?
Rydek, it is such an honor to meet you.
This is our tactical officer, Lieutenant Bedrosian.
I've played a few horror games on like the PS Now app.
I've been following your career for quite some time. And I look forward to learning as much as I can from you.
That's very kind of you to say. I'm happy to be here.
Well, I have to admit, one of the reasons I've followed your career is because you're part Kobliad. Because of what you've overcome. Starfleet stands up for people who can't defend themselves. And you were one of those people once. But since then, you've
Outlast,
done so
I
much
played
to
the
protect
original.
yourself.
I played the first Outlast. I never played the second one. Is there a third
So,
one out now?
You've been something of an inspiration to me.
I'd probably
Not
check
that
it
I've
out.
done anything close to what you've done. But you definitely set a standard to strive for.
You really do know a thing or two about me. I'm glad I could inspire you, but it's important to chart your own path.
Thanks. You can count on it.
And then, of course, you've already met Commander Ermont. Please, do everything you can to make Commander Rydek feel at home here. I'll be on the starbase. I have an urgent meeting with the starbase commander to get our authorization to get underway. If they drag their feet any longer, the bridge is yours.
That was some messed up dialogue. There was a glitch in there. Sit in the captain's chair when ready.
Impressive range of view.
That is a cool view. No, they haven't. And it's not even Telltale Games. It's just the surviving people from Telltale Games regrouped and formed this company and made this game.
To recalibrate the emitters in response to the danger posed by the storm.
So in that sense, it feels like being home, because my very first streams were Walking Dead streams, so...
Permission granted.
Lowering structural integrity field.
Condition blue.
Condition blue.
The storm is getting worse.
Looks like they turned off the SIF.
Great. Let's get to that emitter.
It is. Yes, it is. And this game, I've already noticed, this game's got, you know, it's got its problems. Hey, thanks, Chad. Apparently my shirt's outdated. I need one of these cooler new uniforms that they're wearing.
She's still got some scars on her. It adds character.
When I joined Starfleet, all I wanted was a ride out of town. But this isn't exactly how I pictured it.
On the outside of the ship?
No.
I wish you would let me look around.
Sometimes it feels like we're just part of the
I've played old Star Trek. I played Nintendo Star Trek and I think Xbox Star Trek.
I mean, Starfleet is noble and all.
I played a lot of the old computer games.
Still a machine. A massive, massive machine.
Now, what are you complaining about? We got the best seat in the house out here. You wanted to get away. I enlisted.
Nice. Yeah, that's the Punisher shirt I've got. I've actually outgrown it, but I still have that Punisher shirt.
I wanted to go somewhere. See new worlds. Look up at a sky no one's ever seen before. Just because I'm cranking a hyperspanner up in a Jeffries tube today doesn't mean that's all I'll ever be.
I actually got this jacket off this. You guys know the Stupendous Waves YouTube channel, right? He does like a lot of lore videos and stuff.
We are at the
He had a merchandise section that had like shirts for pretty much everything, which I don't even know how they get the copyright for it, but I picked this one up from them like during the pandemic. I like how you get somebody running the ship and then you get like somebody actually working on the ship. That's pretty cool. Did you guys hear about Ray Stevenson, the other Punisher that just died? That's really sad. That was like sudden too.
Beginning recalibration.
Yeah, R.I.P. to Ray Stevenson, man. He was only 58 too. He was pretty young, and he's literally got a Star Wars project coming out. Everybody's talking about the orange lightsabers, and like that hasn't happened yet. And now he's dead. That's kind of weird.
Careful. Too much action and harmonics will deflect the alignment. Light touch, Carter.
Yeah, he was. He was I forgot he was Firefly in G.I. Joe Retaliation. You're right. He did make that movie watchable. And he was in Dexter. He was in so much. Yeah, Ashoka show. That's his last project, huh? What am I doing with this thing? Okay, I'm overcomplicating this. It's going to be something stupid. Move the tool with R. That's right there. And R2 tunes it. Yeah, I don't know what Anabolus is. You have to know Warhammer 40k would know what those are. That's cool that they pay attention to the lore. Like that kind of detail. I did something.
Looks good. That wasn't so hard.
That was weird. I don't even know what I did.
Commander Westbrook, right? Chief Science Officer.
You
remembered my name and my rank. Impressive. Yes, I am the Chief Science Officer, and I have the dubious honor of being the most senior officer on this bridge. I know this ship inside and out. Better than just about anyone.
You seem to think very highly of yourself.
With good reason. I'm curious, though. A Kobliad, or half in your case, is an odd choice for First Officer, given your vulnerable condition and all. But if, as an example, we found ourselves in a hostile situation, and you were suddenly incapacitated because you needed an infusion, what would happen then?
Nice, that sounds cool.
You'd leave
That is
Captain
some
Solano
serious
without a
attention to
cell.
detail then.
Granted, that would be a worst-case scenario, but not outside the realm of possibility.
Like I said, in my entire career, it's never been an issue. Or caused this, and I don't expect this to be any different.
I was just curious, that's all. Listen, can I be blunt, Commander?
I see no reason to stop now.
Commander Sutherland, your predecessor, was one of the best first officers in all of Starfleet. His record was impeccable and his reputation was without equal. I mean no disrespect, but the shoes you're stepping into are almost impossible to fill. He was loved by the crew. And he was one of my closest friends.
Hey, we just met. You might like me after you get to know me.
They say familiarity breeds contempt, but who knows? Seeing as Captain Solano is on the starbase, let me give you an update on this ion storm we're flying into. It's unusual, unlike anything I've ever seen. At the moment, I can't tell you if the Resolute will shrug it off or if we're putting ourselves at risk. However, if we learn more about its patterns, its nature, we can come up with a scientific countermeasure. Just a moment.
We've got a massive energy wave inbound. On screen.
Tracing its trajectory.
Starbase docking clamps are holding.
The storm's emissions are fluctuating, coming in waves. And if my projections are right, we're about to get hit by a wide-band burst of ionic energy. Like a tsunami.
I'm reading power abnormalities all over.
Red alert!
Aye. Evacuating main gangway and retracting.
Putting sensor visualization on screen.
With the structural integrity field shut down, we can't take a direct hit.
Time to impact. 1 minute.
Shield systems are severely impacted. We have limited protection.
I need every available solution. What are our options?
We can weaken the impact of the storm with a deflector pulse.
Wait, there's a...
I'm sending all auxiliary power to the deflector dish.
Send the aux power to the shields. We can't reactivate the entire shield bubble, but it's a directional threat. So we can orient all we have towards the wave. You have to believe me.
We only get one shot at this. We can't afford to get it wrong.
Commander Westbrook, use the deflector dish.
Already working on it. Optimal timing displayed. It's going to be tight.
Good. Send the pulse on my command.
Ooh, we've got a game. What are we doing here?
We got it! This is it!
All hands, brace for impact.
Oh, we got people on the outside.
What happened?
We have experienced a surge of radiation.
Oh, you don't say.
This radiation supercharged the plasma, forcing it to backflush through the system and creating a dangerous imbalance.
Blow out every primary system on the ship.
Just tell us where you need us.
I need you to traverse the hull to the access port to recalibrate the port nacelle plasma regulator.
I should shake around when the ship gets attacked, huh? For like they do on the TV show.
Understood. Do you see the override for the level 1 failsafe circuits?
Affirmative.
Engage the override. It should allow us
What?
to stop the EPS
This is going to
flow
be
the
like the
warp
king of
engine
mini
without triggering
games. This
an
guy
automatic
here.
core shutdown.
It's exactly like turning on the train from Walking Dead episode 3.
Failsafe override engaged.
Are you sure? I am registering some crosstalk in the bypass circuit.
We need to route the signals so they don't interfere with
Just
each other.
shake the camera, right? I'm surprised they didn't get blasted off the ship too. What kind of like magnets do they got in those boots? Oh.
Diaz to Resolute. The failsafes are temporarily disabled. Moving on to the EPS regulator.
This is going to be the guy that single-handedly saves the day. He's going to have to do everything while everybody else is probably going through drama.
What if the discharge
I can see it.
It's coming right toward us. I'm gonna try to disrupt it with my phaser.
Getting pretty rough or what? Aim.
So we gotta climb up the pylon. Not that there's really an up, but, you know.
That's cool. They let you walk away on the. They let you walk around on this. I like the Miranda class starship they got back there too. That's cool. Whoa!
Are you alright?
I'm being timed. That must be my oxygen.
Snuck up on him.
Net damaged your suit. Energy is down to 60%.
Oh, we're being timed, lady. Let's go.
Carter! Do not get hit again. We're almost to the regulator.
We're at the regulator. Opening the access panel.
Now halting the EPS flow to the port nacelle, we have little time before it causes an overload in the engine. You must work efficiently.
EPS manifold adjusters reset to neutral.
Oh no. Pickled eggs. I had somebody else trying to get me to eat pickled eggs. I was like, that sounds gross, but apparently, yeah, it's a thing. I don't know if I could try it,
GPS lines to the port
because
call
it would
back in
taste
balance.
like pickles, but it would
Done.
have the texture of the eggs, and that would just be weird to me. Uh-oh.
Get down! Diaz to bridge. We just lost the docking clamp.
You guys need to get back into the ship.
We've got a lot of debris coming down. All vibrations, too. We can't finish the EPS regulation in these conditions. Please advise.
We have to release the ship from that other docking clamp or the hull will be ripped apart.
There's a problem. The clamps are supposed to disengage automatically in an emergency, but it's not working.
Not working.
What are our options?
You gotta
The docking
manually
clamps are fitted
disengage
with
it.
exploding bolts for an emergency release.
We've got crew out there. That'd be like setting off a bomb next to them.
Maybe there's another way.
Starbase is hailing us.
Put him through.
Resolute, the remaining mooring arm is failing. You need to disengage from the starbase now. The damage to the station will be catastrophic.
We have crew outside and are looking for the
We have
safest way
people
to...
on this station. If that mooring arm breaks, we could lose dozens of crew.
Commander, hear me.
Geez, no pressure here.
Reverse the polarity of the hull, which theoretically will repel the docking clamps.
And repel the engineering crew right off the hull into the storm.
This is Captain Solano. Put me on screen.
Go ahead. Captain, we have a situation.
Commander, what are you doing? This isn't your call to make. Blow the...
The captain doesn't know the whole story.
I'm giving you an order. Jara?
Trust me.
You brought me here because you trusted me. Can you trust me now?
I'm the one on the ship. I have a decision to
Sure
make.
you make the right decision.
The captain made himself quite clear.
They're gonna get
Yeah, he
hammered
did.
with debris out there. Reverse the polarity.
There is protocol.
And there are lives.
Starbase, stand. We're gonna flip hull polarity to disengage the clamps.
Yes, Commander.
Hope their gravity boots are working now.
Repair crew, this is Acting Captain Jara Rydek. Repair crew, this is Acting Captain Jara Rydek. Be advised, we are... Tether yourself and deactivate your boots on my mark.
Understood.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
Oh, dude, what are you doing?
2, 1. Mark!
He's dead. That was cool. I'll be right back. Yeah, that was kind of a big oof.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark!
There we go. Take 2 and action.
Grab my hand! I got you.
Thank you.
Plasma imbalance balance is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
I got it.
Jammed. It's not going up, Captain. Nice.
Look out!
Oh, shit.
I got you. Petty Officer Edselar's hurt and unconscious.
Beam her into the ship. What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna have to tow her back to the airlock.
Mr. Diaz, the situation has changed. Mr. Diaz, the situation has changed. It has come to my attention that you are at risk of triggering a
But Commander, the way we came is the nearest airlock.
There's an auxiliary hatch near you on the far end of the pylon. You must bring Miss Edselar there to access the interior.
Roger that. Going there now. I'm at the auxiliary hatch.
You go first.
What?
Let me save your neck this time. No time to fight me on this. Get in there!
Not on your life.
Let's not let it come down to that.
Is he dead? Nope, he's not dead. Okay.
We made it.
They're safe, bringing the SIF fully online.
Do it.
He did. He's got to be, like, messed up now. He's going to need some serious, like, reconstructive surgery after that.
Nilly.
I'm good. Help me with him.
That is awesome. 30th anniversary of Jurassic Park's coming out this summer. I'm looking forward to that review, Anthony. You do pretty good reviews.
Medical. Got one wounded at my location. Carter. You don't look so good. You gotta be more careful. I just got here. I'm not ready to see you two get blown to space dust just yet. Now let's get you down to sickbay.
Great.
Status report.
The repair crew made it inside. EPS flow is back to nominal levels. The SIF is back up.
How does this affect mission readiness, Mr. Ermot?
Releasing the docking clamps using hull polarity minimized damage to the Resolute. We'll have some last-minute repairs to make, but if we reapportion some of the staff, we can make our departure on time. As of now, however, we are successfully moored to the station.
Good to hear. Send updates to my ready room. Commander Rydek, with me.
I've never read the second book. The first one was completely different because I remember the main Richard Attenborough character dies at the end of the book, and in the movie he gets away. They all get away.
You disobeyed my orders. Well?
I'm sorry for that, Captain. I did what I thought was...
You disobeyed my orders! And not just in front of the bridge crew, but the Starbase staff as well. That's going to get around. My name's already tarnished around the fleet. But what is it going to do to my credibility on this ship? From the top to the bottom. Bridge to lower decks.
Captain, I told you I'd be honest, so here it is. Maybe I shouldn't have disobeyed a direct order, but you were wrong. You weren't on board, and you didn't have all the information. So I made the right decision for the ship. If you're worried about your credibility, put your ego aside and trust your crew. Trust me.
You might have won some fans on the bridge with that stunt, but not everyone. Lieutenant Commander Chovak has already bent my ear.
I'm sure he doesn't take it personally. He'll get over it in time.
Mr. Chovak is more complicated than he would want to admit. I guess we all are. And if I'm being
Okay, yeah, I forgot about that. I don't think I've read the Jurassic Park book since I was like in high school.
No, if you weren't in those shoes. So, let's just boil it down to you did what you had to. That'll have to be good enough for me.
Thank you for understanding, sir. I'm sure no one knows the burden of command as well as you do.
I'm sure you will, someday. Despite it all, we got our final Starfleet clearance to depart. So if you'll fetch Mr. Ermot, we'll knock out the final details of any outstanding repairs, and we'll set out for Hotari.
Yes, sir.
I don't remember, Anthony. It's definitely been a while.
All departments reporting full mission readiness. All departments reporting full mission readiness.
This is my favorite moment, right now.
The start of a new mission is always full of possibility.
The Orion Syndicate could sell it as a drug.
Don't let the Admiralty hear you say that.
Captain on the bridge.
Sit. Sit, everyone. You all know, I'm not big on speeches. We're embarking on the first mission since our refit. Let's make it a good one. Disengage docking clamps.
Docking clamps released.
Thrusters ahead, Mr. Handar. Do it. Set a course for the Hotari system. Prepare to...
Where did my subtitles go?
Go to war.
Hi, Captain.
You know what? You take this one.
Me? Helm. Do it.
That's gonna be my catch slogan. Do it. I guess in Star Trek now, it's important that the captain has their own catchphrase for engage. You can't just say engage. They all have to have their own special word.
Whoa. Careful.
Thank you. I'm fine. Really,
You don't look fine.
That's why she wears a ring. I was wondering about that.
I have to get to sickbay.
Go.
Commander, help me get her inside.
Well, that was quite a scare. A few minutes more and it would have been one of the shortest tenures on record for a first officer.
is that the engineer that was out on the hull?
That storm did a real number on him, but he'll live. Just needs rest. You should worry about yourself. Your deridium levels got dangerously low and destabilized your cell structure.
This is definitely one of the more memorable first days I can think of.
My name is Dr. Aram Duval, Chief Medical Officer. To be honest, I've never met a Kobliad before. You're
rare. I know.
I was going to say special. Your people's numbers have dwindled, despite the Federation's efforts to find a more readily available alternative to the Deridium.
I don't know what race what the first officer is.
Join Starfleet.
Is she from she from one of the episodes?
Responsibility must be overwhelming. Maybe even a burden at times.
I know what it means. And I know the responsibility that comes with it. But I can't be anything more than who I am. And if someone has a problem with that, or expects something else, then that's their problem, not mine.
That's exactly right. And don't worry, I won't treat you like a science experiment. I just do the science and leave the experiments to Solano.
You don't agree with his methods?
I don't agree with his definition of acceptable risks. Not when the lives of your crew
Of course
are at
not, you're a
stake.
doctor.
My professional opinion is that the accident took a toll. More than he's willing to admit. He's overstressed, operating in the pressure cooker of his own mind. Which is never a good headspace when the lives of your crew are at stake. What concerns me is that now he's even further away from the thing he's been chasing his entire career. The breakthrough discovery. The major innovation. Something he can put his name on.
I hear you. But that's my job, isn't it? To make sure that doesn't happen. And we don't lose sight of the bigger picture.
Which is exactly why I'm so glad you're here. We need you now more than ever. And I have to give you credit for what happened on the bridge. It took guts to defy a direct order.
Huh. I guess word travels fast around here.
It's a small ship. And everyone's curious about the new XO. Fortunately, your cell structure is almost completely stabilized. And I'll spare us both the lecture, but I do feel it's my responsibility to remind you, without regular infusions of Deridium, you will not live. It's as simple as that.
Understood.
Then, my work here is done.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be lurking outside of sickbay. I didn't want to intrude, so it felt more appropriate to wait out here. We were all worried about you. Or I should say I was. I wasn't sure what was happening at first. But then I realized it was your condition.
I don't want anyone to worry about me. I'm gonna be just fine. This is part of who I am, but I've never let it define me.
I get that now. And I promise I'll try not to let being such a jerk define me either. You trusted my intuition earlier.
Yeah, it's out on, it's a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One game, so it's not on the newer generations. I was looking for it and it didn't show up on the PS Store, and I realized it was mostly sending me PS5 games. So I had to actually put it in the search and look for it.
Gave you that burn are quite unusual, like everything else that goes with this story.
So far, I'm enjoying the heck out of it. I did not know what to expect when I got it.
To counter the radiation effects. That should help speed your healing.
Star Trek games largely have been a miss. There's not a lot of good Star Trek games out there. But Telltale Games makes, you know, really good story-driven games. I figured the people that made that game, that make all those games, are doing this, so...
I was starting to get worried. Not that you aren't in good hands with Dr. Duvall. You did take one hell of a shot, though.
So, be honest. How bad do I look?
You look... rugged.
Rugged?
Okay, how about heroic? Millie was looking in on you too, by the way. But since it's just us right now,
She's totally got a thing for him.
While I was away, and I thought it was important that I just come out and tell you, instead of tiptoeing around it, or worse.
This is just a guess, but you like me. Is that what this is?
How'd you know? Must have been pretty obvious. Which is funny because kind of came out of nowhere for me at first.
You didn't exactly hide it.
I wasn't exactly trying to hide it. But since it's that obvious, we've been really good friends for a long time. I want to see if there's more between us than just being friends.
You don't have to explain it.
We'll hook up with her too.
I feel the same way.
You gotta have a good love story in a story, you know.
Do you want to find out what that
Put the heart into it.
If it's there for you, and it's there for me, why not give it a try?
Are you kidding me? I just said yes.
I wanted to be sure I heard that right.
Sorry to interrupt, but the patient needs to rest if he wants to get back to his own self.
Of course. I'll see you again soon.
Speaking of love and marriages, I am a registered, ordained, like, minister now. I can marry people. I did that on Friday. And I'm marrying a couple on July 7th. In Colorado, I guess you can marry anybody. Anybody can marry anybody.
Helm, bring us out of warp.
Which I thought that's kind of crazy. I never thought I would be, like, ministering a wedding. It's gonna be a first for me. It's definitely gonna be weird.
We can take it.
We are at the correct coordinates to meet the shuttle.
Commander Rydek, find us our diplomat, if you will.
Aye, Captain. Let's reduce the noise. Filter out environmental signals. I can manually tune what's left for Federation signal types. I've located the shuttle.
Opening comms.
On screen.
There's already been a reverend, I think, in the wrestling business. Probably more than one.
Shuttle to Resolute. Debris field. Lost maneuvering.
I was joking about that. I was like, people have to call me reverend at work.
I can't get it any clearer.
They won't get a transporter lock. It's just not happening.
Power up the tractor beam. We'll pull them directly into the docking bay.
Nah, it'll be cool, though. I was kind of honored when she asked me, you know, she wanted me to officiate her and her boyfriend's wedding. A friend of mine. I was like, really? I wasn't shocked. Like,
yes, sir.
I could see myself doing that at some point in my life.
You sure?
I'm sure.
The Grayson, that's the name of the shuttlecraft. That's cool. I wonder if that's a Batman reference since it's a Telltale guys.
First thing, lock onto the shuttle.
Oh, you just go online actually. There was an online thing you do. I told her to do all the legwork and look into it because she's like, I want you to officiate the wedding. And I'm like, I think I have to be ordained. So she looked it up and did all the nonsense. And then just sent me the webpage. It's like AmericanMinistries.com or something.
We're pulling in debris.
Uh-oh.
I'm on it.
I'm going to have to blast them. Oh, get this one out. It's going to crash. And this guy. Get him out of the way. I'm glad they didn't go with cartoon graphics. Yeah, this looks real good. For being PS4, it looks real good.
Debris headed for the shuttle. The tractor beam can't handle it.
Can our shields take it?
I believe so.
Commander Ryder.
I really feel like I missed the dress code on this one. I think I should be in one of those ones. What am I doing? Well, I feel smart.
Here we go. Maneuvering thrusters bearing 53 Mark 17.
I just did
200
science
meters
stuff.
On an intercept course.
Maneuvering.
Got it.
Whoa. Someone's working hard on the bridge.
Well, you gotta. There's a. See, I'm not affiliated with any religion. That's the thing. Like, that's what I thought was weird about it. You don't have to be in a religion to marry people, unless you're doing like a specific like church or something. I don't plan to do it as a career. I'm gonna marry this one girl in their backyard. I'll marry her and her boyfriend and like give a speech, do a ceremony. I looked up some stuff on how to do it, so I gotta like talk to them and like get a bunch of information on what they want. Like if they want, what kind of ceremony they want, what kind of vows they want to have. Is they gonna have a religious wedding or like a themed wedding? Yeah, she asked me, she's like, you're the most spiritual person I know. I was like, oh, I'm honored, I'll do it. Spock. Can't have a Star Trek game without Spock in it, right? And he's still alive in the story. I could dress up in Jedi robes. I have Jedi robes.
In that case,
that's funny.
I will wait for him here.
Let me be the first to say, welcome to the Resolute, Ambassador.
Thank you, Petty Officer
Carter?
Talking to Spock,
Carter
the
Diaz.
legendary Spock.
Sir.
That's cool.
I am pleased to meet you, Petty Officer Carter Diaz. It appears I have you to thank for my safe arrival. Your assistance arrived not a moment too soon, if I may say so.
Well, it wasn't all me. I got some help from upstairs.
A bombastic approach to clearing debris. We thought we were prepared for our arrival in Otari space, but it is evident my craft was not sufficiently robust for such intense ionic activity.
The storm has been pretty intense.
There was an element that was most unusual. Before you came to our aid, our maneuvering thrusters and impulse engines were rendered inoperable. So we attempted a short traversal at warp speed, only to find that we could not achieve warp at all, even though our diagnostics computer showed no faults or anomalies. What do you make of that? When all indications say that warp speed is possible, but in practice, we find it is not.
Well, this storm is one of the strangest phenomena we've ever encountered. It's disrupted other systems. Who knows what it might do to a warp drive?
Yes, it would seem further investigation is called for.
Take readings, run some additional diagnostic checks, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
Hey, thanks, Sniper. I appreciate it, brother. Hope you're enjoying the stream so far.
Ambassador Spock.
Excuse me.
I'm honored to have you aboard. I'd like to get right to it. We're already behind.
I like the cinematics in this game. They're actually pretty decent for like a Telltale style game. Can I do the Spock thing? Yeah, I can do the Spock thing. Not hard.
Ambassador Spock, my senior staff.
My hand-eye coordination's not that destroyed yet. A few more years and I'll be like, right now I'm still good.
You flatter me, Captain Solana. But legend implies the past tense, whereas I am very much focused on our present circumstances.
I didn't mean to suggest you were stuck in the past. You're right, Ambassador. Not the most diplomatic choice of words.
Your experience comes from the past, but our present situation calls for it.
You know, I probably could. I know the husband is a Star Trek fan. I probably could do the live long and prosper thing, and they'd be fine with that. That's funny.
Peaceful neighbors are now on the brink of war.
Indeed, and the tension between them grows fiercer by the hour. Lydia and Hotari. The Lydians are the more advanced species. They made first contact with the Hotari over a century ago. This is Tau, the Hotari moon. It is rich in dilithium, and for decades, the Hotari and the Illidians have shared a mining operation there. The Illidians provide the technological resources, while the Hotari have served as the labor force. The stability of that arrangement was the source of their peace, until recently. The Hotari have suddenly and forcefully seized control.
Is Captain Kirk dead, or is he stuck in that void? He is both dead, also stuck in the void, because whatever goes in the void can stay in the void if it wants to stay in the void, so his essence was in there, so it's still in there. Everything that ever goes into that void stays in that void. It's kind of weird.
Between all parties have been limited by the ionic interference.
How is it the Hotari were able to turn the tables and take the mines against superior forces?
And according to Picard Season 3, Section 31 took his body off that planet and put him in their institute.
One that I hope we can uncover during these negotiations.
So they've got his DNA under something called Project Phoenix, so they could reclone him if they wanted to in the story.
If this escalates to open war.
No, that was one of the movies. That was Next Generation's first movie.
More bloodshed, which is what we are here to prevent.
And the dilithium trade hangs in the balance.
Clearly, the Hotari have been exploited in this.
Almost done with Zeta Gundam. Nice.
Peace is the more profitable alternative for everyone. They both profited from the mines, and for the Hotari, something is better than nothing. Peace is our objective, after all.
That is correct.
The Hotari just won their independence. It's hard to believe they would give that up just for profit.
I agree. It would be exceedingly difficult to bring the Hotari to that position.
Neither the Illidians or the Hotari are members of the Federation, so we can't make them do anything.
There is an additional complicating factor I should mention. In the past,
No, it's
the
never
Federation
mentioned.
has relied on the Illyrians
It was after the
as a
series
source
ended.
of dilithium.
That certainly changes things.
That was during their like really bad writing
Federation
phase.
sources its dilithium from a lot of places.
Yeah, and this is one of them.
That means the Hotari have no reason to trust us.
I wouldn't go that far, Commander.
We are completely neutral in this matter, on neither one side nor the other. Any suggestion otherwise would compromise our position. Given the Federation's involvement in the Illyrian dilithium trade, Captain Solano and I must make every effort to appear neutral in these negotiations.
What worries me is if this whole thing unravels, and we're at the mercy of the storm at less than full strength.
We can't let it come to that.
Considering what the ion storm has done to our ship, and the Ambassador's shuttle, we have to assume the Illyrian fleet has had problems with it as well. This recent surge in the energy disturbance temporarily
Hey, thanks,
levels
Sniper.
the playing field.
Commander Westbrook is correct.
Hope you guys are all enjoying this as much as I am.
Systems have been noted in the past, but they have never been observed on the orders of magnitude we have seen in recent weeks.
If it's keeping the two sides talking instead of shooting at each other, that actually helps us negotiate a peace.
First Contact was great. First Contact was the best one.
And when it doesn't,
all the more reason to
Insurrection
learn
was
as much about
bad.
it as we can while we are here.
Nemesis, yeah, Nemesis is the only one I never saw in the theater of that era, of that group. I'd already moved on to other things by the time Nemesis hit the theater. And then when I did watch it, it was just bad.
We're going to be leaving for the
Everything that came out in 2002 is bad.
Commander
Like,
Westbrook, I want you to leverage
not
our
everything, but a lot of
systems
those
to
movies were.
investigate the anomaly from here while we're gone.
Aye, Captain.
Thank you all.
Dismissed.
Picard Season 3 makes up for it, though. I highly recommend that to anybody who's like a Next Generation fan.
Ambassador Spock, I'd like to
Yeah,
make a
First
formal
Contact with the
introduction.
Borg Queen.
My first officer, Commander Jara Rydek.
Commander, as you are aware, there are limits to what Captain Solano and I can do in our official capacity.
Yeah, I don't know why they kept the movies and the storyline separate. That was kind of stupid of them to do, to ignore that there was a war going on. And then they got the Federation over there dealing with the Briar Patch nonsense. That was, and that's supposed to be their flagship, so that was really stupid. I agree with you on that.
They may be more candid in revealing information that could lead to a resolution.
Don't say that, dude. You need to watch Season 3. You will be happy with it. They made up for it. They did what Star Wars could not do.
But I'm not opposed to it.
I'm honored to be included in the negotiation
I didn't think I'd like
process.
it, and I loved it a lot. I'm really pushing it. You really, when you see it on DVD at Walmart, I'd say pick it up. You'd like it.
We'll have more luck finding out what really happened than we will through official diplomatic channels.
The fate of the negotiations.
It was a love letter to that whole time period.
Prospect for peace may very well depend on it.
And that's coming from me, and I come with you on that. Never gonna watch Season 3. I enjoyed it. I'm really glad they made it. I got a few nitpicks here and there, but overall it was pretty good. It was nice to see everybody back on screen together in a positive way. Like Star Wars, they did it all wrong, and this company did it right, bringing them together. And it was a good time. It wasn't a downer like Star Wars was.
The root cause of the system failures he encountered.
I'm surprised, Commander. I thought you would have wanted to work on Ambassador Spock's shuttle yourself.
I respect the Ambassador and his many accomplishments, but I do not derive any satisfaction from interacting with his shuttle as if it were somehow transubstantiated through its association with him. Especially when I have the entirety of this starship to concern myself with. I am not the chief engineer of this shuttlecraft.
Commander Chovak, is there anything you do enjoy?
I take pleasure in the satisfaction of a job well done. I suggest you try it sometime. make note of any abnormalities in your report. Carry on.
Was that a joke?
No, couldn't have been. It seems like he's warming up to us.
Yeah.
Even Chovok has to look at that face and know you've earned some real respect. And I have to admit that I owe you one. You were right to make me go first. I don't know what I was thinking.
You've pulled me out of trouble how many times? Call it even.
Okay. At the very least, maybe I can track down that bottle of Saurian brandy you're still on the hook for. But first, we have work to do.
Ready to go?
All set. Let's run the diagnostic.
I love running diagnostics.
So, I know about your talk with Miranda.
You do?
She sent me a Priority 1 dispatch right after your conversation. I'm happy for you. Both of you.
Thanks.
But I'm only going to tell you this once. Don't screw this up. Because I would be very unhappy if you
That's
tried
funny.
this out and then,
They were hoarding
I
the
don't know,
fountain of
6
youth.
weeks or 6 days later, I have to start.
You're taking the evil
splitting
admiral's
between the two of
side.
you. All because things went south and you're not on speaking terms. That just isn't gonna work for me. And I know you'll respect that.
That's not gonna happen, okay? And why are you even going there? We haven't even gone on a date yet.
I just want you to know where I stand.
She want me to? Do I got two chicks after me? That's the way it always works, isn't it, though? These things come in twos.
Yeah, it's wrapping up. Let's see. The relays along the primary EPS are blown. The backup relays are all intact.
An EPS overload from the warp drive could cause that. But how did the shuttle end up dead in the water?
Huh. Well, maybe the ship's data recorder can tell us something. Here.
They were only about 8 minutes from their plotted warp point. No faults, just those warnings. What are they?
The warp field became inverted suddenly.
I've seen this happen when the center warp coil cracks.
A cracked warp coil throws a fault code.
Still, we should take a look.
There was a complete warp cascade failure.
Wow. They're lucky the shuttle didn't turn inside out.
Makes me think the computer panicked on the warp field equation. Subspace variance out of tolerance. What does that mean?
It means the main navigation array lost sight of space somehow.
Will the array going offline cause that?
Yes, but it should have also thrown a fault code. Any one of these failures should have thrown a fault.
If it was caused by a system failure.
None of this caused the relays to blow. Roll forward to when that happened.
Yes, ma'am.
So here, they take a moment to get their bearings and they attempt to re-engage the warp drive.
There. That's the relays blowing.
And look, there's another warp system alert.
They're all the same. Subspace variance out of tolerance, or warp inversions. Finally, there's a complete warp cascade failure.
Then it's one of two things. Either a warp coil is cracked, or the navigation array is offline.
That makes sense.
Divide and conquer.
Engineers, huh?
The warp coil
Wow.
or the navigation array. I'll check the other. Let's not overcomplicate this. One of these systems is likely broken.
I'll check the nacelles for a cracked coil.
I guess we're just checking that one. Well, that was crazy. Didn't mean to do that. Oh, do I have to start back over here?
Mr. Diaz, I understand you have already discussed the warp drive failure with Ambassador Spock.
I have.
It is imperative that the Ambassador's shuttle be flight ready. I need you both to ascertain the root cause of the system failures he encountered.
I'm surprised, Commander. I thought you would have wanted to work on Ambassador Spock's shuttle yourself.
I respect the Ambassador and his many accomplishments, but I do not derive any satisfaction from interacting with his shuttle as if it were somehow transubstantiated through its association with him. Especially when I have the entirety of this starship to concern myself with.
When you look at it logically, yes, it is just a shuttle. No different than any of the others.
There is plenty that is different about it, and that is what you are to investigate. But please limit your findings to observable scientific phenomena.
We'll try to restrain ourselves.
Then I will leave you to it. Make note of any abnormalities in your report. Carry on.
It seems like he's warming up to us.
Yeah.
Even Chovok has to look at that face and know you've earned some real respect. And I have to admit that I owe you one. You were right to make me go first. I don't know what I was thinking.
You've pulled me out of trouble how many times? Call it even.
Okay. At the very least, maybe I can track down that bottle of Saurian brandy you're still on the hook for. But first, we have work to do.
Ready to go?
All set. Let's run the diagnostic.
Oh, gotta do this whole part again. That sucks.
So... I know about your talk with Miranda.
You do?
She sent me a Priority 1 dispatch right after your conversation. I'm happy for you. Both of you.
Thanks.
But I'm only going to tell you this once. Don't screw this up. Because I would be very unhappy if you tried this out and then, I don't know, 6 weeks or 6 days later, I have to start splitting holidays between the two of you. All because things went south and you're not on speaking terms.
That's not gonna happen, okay? And why are you even going there? We haven't even gone on a date yet.
I just want you to know where I stand. I like my friends and I like our group. I don't want to lose that. Is that thing done yet?
Yeah, it's wrapping up. Let's see. The relays along the primary EPS are blown. The backup relays are all intact.
An EPS overload from the warp drive could cause that. But how did the shuttle end up dead in the water?
Huh. Well, maybe the ship's data recorder can tell us something. Here.
They were only about 8 minutes from their plotted warp point. No faults, just those warnings. What are they?
The warp field became inverted suddenly.
No real way to skip this. This kind of sucks.
A cracked warp coil throws a fault code.
Still, we should take a look.
Subspace variance.
I hope it does, Anthony. I really do.
What does that mean?
It means the main
We need more
navigation
good
array
Star
lost
Trek
sight of
games.
space.
The franchise is really
Is it
starting to
going
expand,
offline,
you know.
Yes, but it should have also thrown a fault
There's a lot of Star Trek coming out right now, so it's hopefully that, but there's nothing on games, and the few they do, it's either computer games or like real
They're
crappy
lucky the shuttle
games.
didn't turn inside out.
Makes me think the computer panicked on the warp field equation.
Any one of these failures should have thrown a fault.
If it was caused by a system failure.
None of this caused the relays to blow. Roll forward to when that happened.
Yes, ma'am.
So here, they take a moment to get their bearings and they attempt to re-engage the warp drive.
There. That's the relays
You've
blowing.
seen all but Death Wish 5. That's funny, I was just watching Bithead 1000, his YouTube channel. He just was watching Death Wish 3. He was talking about that one on his channel the other day.
And look, there's another warp system alert.
Those movies are
All the
definitely
same.
worth a rewatch, in
Subspace
my
variance out
opinion.
of tolerance, or warp inversions. Finally, there's a complete warp
I could
cascade
definitely
failure.
get into the Death Wish
And it's
movies.
one of two things.
Hey, what's up,
Either a
DK? How
warp
you doing,
cruise
brother?
or the navigation array
Welcome
is
to the
offline.
stream. Hope you're having
That
a
makes
good
sense.
weekend.
Divide and conquer.
Oh, it's
You
not a
wanna check the
weekend,
warp
huh? It's
coils
a
or the
Tuesday.
navigation
Hope
array?
you're having a good week.
I'll check the other. Let's not overcomplicate this. One of these systems is likely broken.
I'll check the nacelles for a cracked coil.
What am I doing? Keeps kicking me out. I don't know why it keeps kicking me out. I think I keep hitting the wrong stupid button. I'm doing good. I can't complain. No, this just came out today. It's a day one. It'll probably be free pretty soon, though. This was all the game guys that made the Walking Dead Telltale games and those Batman games I was playing back in the day. They all got together, formed their own company, and this is the first game they
I
made.
understand you have already discussed the warp drive failure with Ambassador Spock.
Is there any way to skip all this?
It is imperative that I need you both to ascertain.
I gotta make sure I hit
the cause
circle,
of the
not
system
triangle.
failures you
Triangle's what's
encountered.
kicking me out.
I'm surprised, Commander. I thought you would have wanted to work on Ambassador Spock's shuttle yourself.
I respect the Ambassador and his many accomplishments, but I do not derive any satisfaction from interacting with his shuttle as if it were somehow transubstantiated through its association with him. Especially when I have the entirety of this starship to concern myself with. I am not the chief engineer of this shuttlecraft.
Commander Chovak, is there anything you do enjoy?
I take pleasure in the satisfaction of a job well done. I suggest you try it sometime. Make note of any abnormalities in your report. Carry on.
Was that a joke?
No, couldn't have been. It seems like he's warming up to us.
Yeah.
I'm having fun with it.
Even Chovak has to look at that
It's a
face
pretty
and know
simple-minded
it's some sort of
game. Like
respect. And I have
all
to
the
admit,
codes and everything are pretty easy, and
you were right
it's
to
real.
go first.
It's kind of. It doesn't take much like brain power to do
You
it.
did the smart thing.
You've put me out of trouble how many
So far, the
times?
story's pretty good.
Call it even.
Okay. At the very least, maybe I can track down that bottle of Saurian brandy you're still on the hook for. But first, we have work to do.
No, I think it's either 29 or 39.
Ready to go?
But I'm sure it'll be on sale soon too,
Let's run the diagnostic.
or in a few months. Right now, it's a day one. Hey, this is the last time we are doing this.
So, I know about your talk with Miranda.
You do?
She sent me a Priority 1 dispatch right after your conversation. I'm happy for you. Both of you.
Thanks.
But I'm only going to tell you this once. Don't screw this up. Because I would be very unhappy if you tried this out and then, I don't know, 6 weeks or 6 days later, I have to start splitting holidays between the two of you. All because things went south and you're not on speaking terms.
He'd really enjoy this thing, 'cause there's a lot of like Star Trek lore and stuff in here.
That's not gonna happen, okay? And why are you even going there? We haven't even gone on a date yet.
I just want you to know where I stand.
Like a lot of the places they reference and stuff. Like I guess if you're a really big Star Trek fan, you'll get all the clues. There's been a few that have been dropped already that I've kind of missed that I have to go back and pick up on.
Let's see. The relays along the primary EPS are
I recommend it though. I like these story-driven style
EPS
point-and-click
overload
games.
from
They're my
the warp drive
favorite.
caused that. But how did the ship
They're my favorite to
continue
scream anyway.
Well, maybe the ship's data recorder can tell us something. Here.
They were only about 8 minutes from their plotted warp point. No faults, just those warnings. What are they?
The warp field became inverted suddenly.
Yeah, you probably would.
I've seen this happen when the center warp coil cracks.
A cracked warp coil throws a fault code.
Still, we should take a look.
There was a complete warp cascade failure.
The Gundam Rise figure you got, you should do a like a video of it, Anthony. I'd definitely love to check that out. Yeah, I would definitely check. Yeah, you should check that out, or you should put that out. I would definitely check it out.
Out of tolerance. What does that mean?
It means the main
Connects with the
navigation array
riser.
lost sight of space somehow.
Will the array going offline cause that?
Yes, but it should have also thrown a fault code. Any one of these failures should have thrown a fault.
If it was caused by a system failure.
None of this caused the relays to blow. Roll forward to when that happened.
Yes, ma'am.
So here, they take a moment to get their bearings and they attempt to re-engage the warp drive.
There. That's the relays blowing.
And look, there's another warp system alert.
They're all the same. Subspace variants out of tolerance, or warp inversions. Finally, there's a complete warp cascade failure.
Then it's one of two things. Either a warp coil is cracked, or the navigation array is offline.
That makes sense.
Divide and conquer. You want to check the warp coils or the navigation array? I'll check the other. Let's not overcomplicate this.
Try
One of these
navigational
systems
array
is
this
likely
time.
broken.
I'll check the navigation array.
Okay, resume circle. Okay, where's the navigational array at now? Looks like it's inside. How do I get inside? Can I open this and get inside? L1 and R1 for a deep scan. That's functioning normally, so... How do I get out of here? A chemical scan, okay.
Navigation array checks out, so it must be a coil.
Except
That
it's
sounds pretty
not.
awesome. I've probably
Checked
seen
and
something like that
double-checked.
on one of those cartoons.
Readings don't lie.
Here comes the security detail for the way team.
We could always send pictures on the Discord if you didn't want to make a video. I'd love to check it out.
Hey.
I'm not here.
We're escorting the negotiating team to the surface as soon as they come down from the bridge. I don't want to interrupt some important work. I was just hoping to see you before I go. The captain and the others will be here any minute now. Should be an interesting ride down to the surface.
Come on, I'm never too busy to make time for you.
That's not
It's
true.
worth the review. Nice.
No.
Cool.
But I am glad you came by.
No, that's more accurate.
I gotta be precise with you, huh?
Hey, Maris. Aren't these those button pushers you're always hanging out with?
And you're the phaser jockeys we always beat in Parisi squares, right?
All aboard for
Parisi
Hotari.
squares.
That another one of the captain's railroad things?
Gotta be. I just usually zone out by the time he gets to the whole steam engines were the warp drives of their day part. Catch y'all later.
You don't want to miss your train.
I do have to go. Not gonna lie, I'd rather not leave right now. That was nice.
Yeah, it was.
Save some of that for when I get back.
You got a deal.
I bet she dies on this, huh? It wouldn't be a love story if she
Nice seeing
didn't.
you.
Salar de Diaz. If you could float back down to reality, we still have a ways to go. All right, where were we?
So, the warp coils in the navigation array are fine, but the nav computer doesn't seem to think so.
I'm out of ideas short of field stripping the shuttle from bow to stern.
You wanna take...
Oh, real hands-on maintenance. I like it. Okay, the nav computer is patched
Nice.
into
You'll
the
have to
ship.
show off your whole collection,
Ship's
Anthony.
computer can double-check
I'd
our
be down to
work.
check that out.
If the
Doesn't
shuttle's
come
nav
till
computer's
October?
putting out
Wow.
false data,
See,
we'll know it.
Let's run through the
I guess
shuttle
actually
now.
October's not that far away. It's already almost
Running
June.
now. warp field inversion, and a cascade failure. However, the Resolute computer doesn't show the same subspace variance.
We're in the same conditions that the shuttle was in when it failed. Why wouldn't the ship's computer get a matching result?
What if the subspace variance was a momentary occurrence?
That's a possibility, and it would explain why the simulation under our current sensor readings failed to reproduce the issue.
But a subspace anomaly strong enough to cause a warp field collapse would leave graviton ripples for days.
Let's run with the momentary subspace variance theory for now. Roll forward to the shuttle's attempt to re-engage the warp drive. We need the conditions of space around the shuttle at the moment of warp failure.
Resuming simulation.
Nice. Yeah, if you make a video, I'd definitely check those out. Hey, thanks, Sniper. I appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the stream so far.
Error in warp field calculation. Cochrane formula variables are out of range.
That right there. Take the shuttle sensor data from that moment.
Computer, why did the warp field calculation fail?
Warp field pressure returned non-orthogonal. Results are undefined.
That doesn't help.
Wait, what if we use a different ship?
Put the Resolute into the simulation instead of the shuttle.
Yeah, it should warp just fine. Unless... Computer, run the simulation with the Resolute.
Resolute simulated.
Computer, give me manual control on the warp power.
Static field intensity, warp 1.1. 1.2. 1.3. Warp pressure is destabilized. Error in warp field calculation. The warp drive has experienced a system-wide cascade failure. Warp field collapsed. Subspace variance is out of tolerance. Cochrane formula results are undefined.
Bingo.
What-o?
The same moment when the shuttle failed to warp, so did the ship. Whatever happened to the shuttle just happened to us. The Resolute will not sustain warp.
We can't leave Hotari space.
Ambassador Spock, Captain Solano, welcome to Hotari. We are honored you've come. My name is Tylos Altaris, Minister of Diplomatic Affairs.
The honor is ours, and this is Commander Jara Rydek, first officer aboard the USS Resolute. You'll find she has a keen mind and unique insight into the dynamics between the Hotari and the Illydians.
We are honored to be here as representatives of the Federation.
I'm so glad.
These must be the representatives of the mighty Federation. The reigning authority in the galaxy. Or so we've been led to believe. Whether that's true or not remains to be seen. But, either way, we're grateful you've made the time to come to our little corner of the universe.
And you are?
This is Galvin, and this is Sidron, the heroes of the revolt in the mines.
Let's hope this is the last time we ever have to come here.
If you'll excuse me.
I think we're about to begin.
Did you hear the arrogance from that guy? I don't know what we're walking into here. That guy was something.
Something about his tone tells me this won't be easy.
That was my sense as well.
I doubt he speaks for all of Hotari, so I would urge patience until we speak with their queen.
The 00 Rider's your favorite now? Nice. Hey, thanks, Sniper.
Ambassador Spock, welcome to Holtari Prime.
The honor is mine, Your
Atari
Majesty.
Prime sounds very
The
familiar,
Federation
like it's
being
from
one of their
something.
most respected representatives is not only an honor to the Hotari people and their queen, but a recognition of our stature and importance.
Let's get on with it, shall we? With all due respect to the Federation and their ambassador, they have no authority here. We are not members of their alliance. We are not subject to their rule, nor yours. We demand the immediate return of all mining operations to Elydian control, as it has been for centuries and will be for centuries more. That has always been our understanding.
That understanding has changed.
Then you invite war.
And if you cannot remain silent, you will be silenced. But his point is well taken. What is the Federation's interest in this matter? Perhaps you would have us trade one oppressor for another?
The Federation remains neutral. Our only interest is the peaceful resolution of this conflict. We are here at your request, Your Majesty.
For now.
Saying this wouldn't be easy was an understatement. I thought they wanted us here.
Was there something you wanted to say, Captain?
Oh, no. My apologies.
And what about the Kobliad?
She's not part
She
of...
can speak for herself, can't she? Then let her. Now then, one should know their place. What you might be somewhere else is not what you are here. Which is standing before a queen. And a queen deserves respect. A bow is not too much to ask. Is Hotari Prime, heart of the Hotari system.
My name is Commander Jara Rydek, Your Majesty. I prefer to be called by my name, not my species.
Then I suppose that makes us even. Commander Rydek. You are Kobliad. Your people suffered brutal treatment at the hands of the Cardassians. Their injustice towards the Kobliad is as unimaginable as it is unforgivable. Not unlike how we have been treated by the Elydians.
As much as they'd have you believe they are the victims here, remember it was the Hotari who attacked us. Hundreds of innocent Elydians were slaughtered without mercy in those mines.
The blood is on their hands, not ours.
Quiet! If after all the Kobliad suffered, you finally had the chance to right that wrong, to get out from under their control, would you take it? Or would you negotiate a peace?
There is no remedy for what the Kobliad suffered.
They kind of do. I was even thinking that this game has serious, like Mass Effect vibes to
There
it.
is no
Like with
justice if the oppressed
the illustrating,
become
the
oppressor.
artistry, and like you said, with the
So
clothing,
I would
with the
willingly
aliens.
accept a peaceful resolution if it were offered. That is the real opportunity.
Perhaps, Commander Rydak. Perhaps. Unfortunately, that was not the case, was it?
No. It was not.
Peace is often elusive to those who need it most. The Federation is the most powerful, most advanced alliance in the galaxy. It's widely known we have an abundance of dilithium in our mines. And it's in your interest to secure a steady supply.
Your Majesty, if I may.
Ambassador Spock would have us believe you're here as a neutral party in the interest of peace. So why are you really here? I want the truth, not your Federation rhetoric.
It's possible the Federation has an interest in both peace and securing a steady source
Why
of
not tell the
dilithium.
truth, right?
One does not preclude or prevent the other. But that's just my personal opinion.
Given the Federation has done business with the Elidians for decades, I would agree. It's entirely possible, if not highly likely.
What they haven't said, but cannot deny, is a simple truth. The dilithium trade would not and will no longer exist without Elidian involvement. We created it for the benefit of everyone, especially the Hotari. We've given them warp technology. We've let them share in the profits. We've made their lives infinitely better than before dilithium was discovered. All of that goes away if the Federation turns a blind eye to their treachery.
That is enough of your lies! The Hotari are quite capable of running the mines. We've done so for centuries. So tell me, who deserves control of the dilithium trade and the mines on Tau? Who should the Federation recognize? The Hotari or the Elidians?
You're asking me?
Only be one or the other, not both.
If there can only be one, then it would be in the best interest of all involved if the Elidians resumed operation of the mines.
And that is why we should not trust our fate to the Federation.
She speaks sense. You do well to listen to her.
And you do well to hold your tongue.
We will take back our minds by any means necessary.
And you will see more blood spilled.
I am more than willing to address your concerns, Your Majesty. Yours as well, Representative. But I suggest we could have a more productive conversation with a smaller group. Perhaps only the most essential representatives.
I would agree, Ambassador Spock. I think this is best left to those of us with more experience in diplomatic matters.
Spock and I will cover everything on the diplomatic front. You make nice with the locals and see if you can get some answers. We need to find out why the Hotari are so willing to risk war. What happened in those mines?
Alright, I will be right back and we will continue this. I'll probably do one more chapter and then we'll call it.
soothing.
Commander, after hearing so much about the Federation's sense of fairness and justice, I was surprised that you sided with the Illyrians. In all honesty, I expected more, especially from someone like you.
To be clear, I'm not on either side of this conflict. Our only interest is peace.
On the Illyrians' terms, apparently.
I assume you were there, the day the mines were seized from the Illyrians.
Not seized. Reclaimed. And restored to their rightful owners. Yes, I was there. We had to be decisive. Before the Illyrians could even realize their worst nightmares upon them.
Did you have help from someone else?
Hotari stands alone against the Illyrian forces. We don't need help from anyone. They respect one thing above all.
Yeah, they're building to something good. And I know these are 40, like 10, 15 minute chapters. And I think I'm on chapter 9 right now.
Without the strength to secure it.
I might do 4 blocks of 10 to get all 40 of them out of the way.
Resolute. Undoubtedly the Federation's finest warship. Ready to contend with anything the Illyrians might have in store. Or is that not true? Maybe I've misjudged it.
It wasn't designed as a warship. More for scientific research and exploration.
But the Federation must have ships designed for war.
Technically, they're Starfleet ships representing the Federation. But
hey,
yes.
thanks, Sniper. Hope you're enjoying the stream so far.
Cedron. A pleasure meeting you, Commander. I'm sure we'll cross paths again.
I have to say, I fully expected you to side with the Hotari.
Too much conversation? Yeah, it is. It's like Mass Effect in that way. But all these Telltale games, they have that scene where you gotta have that.
There is no dilithium trade. Left to the Hotari, it would be nothing short of a disaster.
Of all my concerns, dilithium is not one of them. I could care less about securing a supply, now or in the future.
I'd be curious to know if the rest of the Federation shares your indifference. Major Solid Arminta, Special Attaché, Illyrian Armed Forces. Pleasure to meet you, Commander. I have my issues with the Hotari, but I have to give them some credit. They know how to seize an opportunity. Inciting an uprising the same day as a massive...
I'm expecting some action to happen soon.
Our assumption was that this storm was just an anomaly.
Yes, a very convenient anomaly. At least that was what we were told. Of course, I wasn't there. But who am I to say otherwise?
You should know better than to believe everything you're told.
Well, the official story is that it was the storm that enabled the revolt. How else do a bunch of unarmed, unorganized miners seize control of an entire moon, much less thousands of mines? But I've talked to people who were there. They tell a different story. They say they're lucky to have escaped with their lives. That it was more than just the storm. That somehow the miners were able to harness the energy from the storm. I know it sounds crazy. I'm not even sure I believe it myself. But that's what they said.
You said the Hotari were primitive.
Well, they are.
Except for the part about weaponizing ion storms.
Hey, what's up, Panda? How you doing? No, it wasn't. I was looking for it, and I couldn't even find it on the PS5 store. I had to like type it in, and it's for PS4 only.
Commander,
Like there is no PS5 port for it.
Of course.
And this is a day one
Commander Rydek,
release,
I have to
so
admit,
it's still
I was
pretty.
surprised
There's
the
still like
use of the Illyrian
some
should control
glitches
the
and
dilithium
stuff.
trade. I was
And I'm
under the
guessing since
assumption
I'm playing it on the
Federation was
PS5, I'm getting the good
but
version.
maybe I was wrong.
We came to help negotiate a peace, not for business.
I did see gameplay, but I had to type it in manually on my
no
YouTube
interest
search
in
to look
dilithium.
for it.
Everyone has an interest in dilithium.
And it's made by the people who made
Just
Telltale's
peaceful
Walking
resolution
Dead.
serves all our
All 4 of
interests.
those games, and they made like the
Besides
Batman
speaking with the Illyrian,
games.
I'm sure they're painting themselves as the victims.
It's the
The
people that made that
Illyrians are
company
under the
formed their
impression
own company
that
once
Hotari
Telltale went
are
under,
somehow the cause
and then
of
they
the
worked on
Ion
this
Storm.
game.
Which I'm sure they attribute to our lack of experience or sheer inferiority. But we are as much the victims of this horrific storm as they are.
PlayStation
For the
Store's
first
not
time
like
in
that.
the history
PlayStation
of
Store's kind of
Hotari,
real
we have the
picky
upper
with what
hand.
they'll sling you.
We see ourselves as strong.
Especially
instead of
PlayStation
downtrodden.
5. I don't get any
Old
ads for
voices
anything
risen
on
up.
PlayStation 4.
Old voices shouted down.
There's puzzles, but they're really baby
Galvin and
puzzles. They're real
Sidran were
easy
the
to do.
national heroes. Now they have the Queen's ear.
And this section seems to be a lot of
Better or
dialogue.
worse,
Earlier there was some
depending
cool
on your
like
perspective.
action on the starship and stuff.
I assume they've taken your place.
I was one of the Queen's most trusted advisors. And I hope to prove myself worthy of being so again. Which is why you're here. My fear has been that the Illyrians will launch an attack and crush us. You've seen their starship, no doubt. They could have retaken the mines whenever they wanted to. But it never happened.
Yeah, there is gameplay. It's a lot of cutscenes though,
Strange
and
as
it's
this may sound,
if you've ever played the Telltale's
I
Walking
honestly
Dead,
are
it's
afraid.
very very similar to those where you'll walk around,
know
talk
what
to
they're
people,
afraid of.
you know, do something,
Still
solve
the
a
same
puzzle.
bluster and bravado you would expect from them.
Was it for fear of the repercussions? Once the
You're waiting
Federation became part
I've
of the
never
equation.
played the Jurassic Park
Possibly.
Telltale
But
in
I
the
almost
first
want to
place.
say this was from the very start.
That's one of those games.
Before Origins,
PlayStation
Federation
Store
was
doesn't
even
sell
on the
the
table.
Telltale games anymore.
Since the day of the revolt, Galvin has seized control of the mines and restricted all access. No one's allowed without his personal
Yeah, I would like
authorization.
we need another action
They've
sequence
taken
coming
over
up
a section
soon.
of the palace with just as much secrecy and security. I'm told it could be something they brought back from the mines. I made inquiries, but everyone pretends it doesn't exist.
What do you think it is?
I've heard rumors it's some sort of ancient artifact, but I haven't seen it myself.
How can we know?
I think they removed him because there's no way for the Telltale company to profit
I'd
off
better see what's
of
happening.
them. So if we're still buying the Telltale games from the
Do you think you can
PlayStation
find
Store,
out what they're hiding?
I don't know how that works because they
We
would
need to
still
see
get
proof
royalties
of
off
something
that. So
before
yeah,
we
I
can
don't
make
know
my
how that
case
would
to the
work.
Federation.
I just think it's stupid.
I can try, but even if
I played the
don't,
Back
I
to the
may not
Future
know what to
one,
make of it.
and I got stuck on some puzzle in like the
Take this.
fourth or
You
fifth
can
game.
use it to capture whatever you find, and then send it to me.
And they were supposed to make a Wolf Among Us Part 2, but we haven't seen that yet.
I will let you know what I find. And I look forward to our meeting again.
I'm curious what this game company, I can't remember what it's called, but I'm curious to what they have to, what they've got planned after this game. Like if they're going to do a sequel to this game or if they've got other franchises they plan on working on.
They seem proud of their culture. Pride can lead to rash action.
Until Jurassic World Dominion, there was nothing stopping the story of Telltale games. That's cool. It's called Burner House? Okay.
Well, that was a disaster.
What happened?
The Hotari refused to concede anything, so the Illidians stormed out.
The Hotari did not invite us here as peace.
Yeah, I didn't like Fallen Kingdom at all. That was like three different stories they were trying, three different movies they were trying to cram into one. I don't know if I've seen Dominion. I probably have. Oh, I did. That's the one with the Locust. Oh, that one was stupid. I didn't like that one either. I don't know. Jurassic Park is one of those movies that it's like with the Terminator. It doesn't need a franchise.
Failing to resolve. Warp bubble stability degrading. Increase output to maximum.
This company made the most recent Tales from the Borderland. That sucks because that game was horrible.
Increasing warp
I
output to
played that
maximum.
on this channel and it was god awful.
It is evident that presently the Resolute cannot achieve warp propulsion.
Since our diagnostics rule out any problems with our warp systems or anything about the ship, the problem appears to be the fabric of space itself.
Space itself? You're saying something about this region of space prevents warp travel?
Okay, that makes sense.
Or can't sustain it.
However improbable, that appears to be the case.
I knew it was some company, but I didn't know.
It'll be an extended stay in
I didn't pay attention to like the behind the scenes of it.
The storm didn't stop us from leaving space dock and traveling here. But could it still be causing this interference with warp travel?
We must follow sound investigatory principles. Do not let an assumed conclusion drive your analysis.
I didn't like The Lost World. I remember seeing that one in the movie theater, and
Captain Solano was
yeah, the people, a lot of the people we were with walked out. I didn't walk out because I don't like to pay my money and walk out, so I sat through and suffered through it. But
may be able to deploy subspace probes
half the
around
people
the
we were
ship
with walked
to
out
construct
on
a
that
clearer
movie.
picture of the phenomenon.
Around the ship. I'll prep a shuttle.
I mean, I like Terminator 2, but it was a story that didn't necessarily need to be told. A lot of those stories are kind of one and done stories. I don't know why they just tell the same thing over and over again. Predator's another one. That's kind of a standalone story that doesn't need 50 sequels. I mean, all the sequels are cool and I like them. I watch them, but
When we get there, I'll deploy
not
the
everything
first
needs to be a franchise or an IP. Oh, now we're flying shuttles. That's kind of cool. That's a cool little starship. I was hoping for something bigger, but that works. And am I moving? How do I move?
Commander Westbrook, the Resolute systems are calibrated to receive the probe's readings. We are standing by to reproduce the warp field collapse after the first probe is deployed.
Thank you, Mr. Chovak. We'll be in position shortly.
And, Mr. Diaz, do take care in piloting the shuttlecraft.
Oh, we're probably going to crash
indulge
it.
in the human penchant for joyriding.
Chovak probably isn't such a fun guy to work for, huh?
I always seem to find a way to push his buttons. Yeah. I think he'd blast me out of the airlock if he thought it would help increase engine
Sam Neill has
efficiency by
cancer.
1%.
I did hear something about that, yeah.
Don't worry about it. Chovak's opinion isn't the only one that matters. Last time I checked, I was still Chief Science Officer. And you made a hell of an impression.
Yeah, that
on
is kinda
Ambassador
sad.
Spock. I'm the one who should be worried with this new first officer on board.
See, yeah, these are kind of the puzzles I was talking about. They're not real that hard to figure out. Uh-oh.
This is far enough. This is far enough. Transporting the... Westbrook here. The first probe is deployed.
Understood. We are reading it. We are about to replay the simulation.
Problem?
Don't get me wrong. Things are definitely trending up with Commander Rydek. She's put my ideas into action. And she listened to me when your life was on the line out in the hull.
That sounds like a good thing.
It is. But I'm still trying to figure out if she's right for the job. She didn't go through what the rest of us did.
It was like a one and done for me. Like, I don't think I could rewatch it.
Can't tell if she was actually siding with me, or if we just fell on the same side.
Yeah, but she's lucky she didn't go through what we did. You can't hold it against her.
Actually, I think I can, even if I shouldn't.
Test is running. Warp field collapse in 3, 2, 1, mark.
Whoa. All right, that is definitely a problem with the fabric of space. We need to get another probe out there.
You're gonna have to rewatch it. I'd probably like it if I rewatched it. I know the initial, maybe I had expectations for it that were never met.
Area of interference. We'll deploy the second probe there. Listen, I'm gonna give you a piece of advice I wish someone had given me. Make sure you're never just one thing. Don't get so focused on what's in front of your face that you lose sight of the big picture. Before Rydek showed up, the captain pulled me into his ready room and told me he didn't think I had the people skills to be first officer. What a load of crap. I mean, if he'd said that about Chovak, sure.
Well, if you're asking, I think you're a people person. After all, here we are. Me, an enlisted officer. You, one of the senior staff. Talking like old buddies.
I should send Solano to talk to you.
Bring him on.
I'm sure you can handle him. You've got potential. You're a capable engineer. You're good in the field. Keep up the good work. Who knows? A solid jack of all departments like you could be Commander-in-Chief of Starfleet one day. Hell, Admiral Jellicoe started as a shuttle pilot. And there are places to go in the enlisted ranks, too.
You know, I'd be the best leader Starfleet ever had. Lower decks always have to fix all the problems Command causes. Maybe I'd just save everybody some steps.
Well, don't forget about us little people when you're running things.
Of course not. You gotta remember where you came from.
I like his character. He seems pretty cool. He's got good development.
Here. This is close enough. Stop the engines. Deploying the probe.
Hello, Aiden. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a wonderful day so far.
Commander Chovak, we're ready for another sampling of data.
Very good. Running the simulation again.
Hope all is well with you.
Warp field collapse in 3, 2, 1, on.
There it is again.
I saw it. It seems to be directional.
Well, what about the scans? Anything?
Here's the readings in relation to our local space.
It's going good? Nice. I'm glad to hear that, man. I can't complain.
All this interference.
Everything's going pretty good so far.
We're gonna have to triangulate the sensors manually.
I'm enjoying this game. I was looking forward to this one for a while, and I'm really glad it finally came out. Supposed to be doing.
got something.
These markers indicate peaks in the gravimetric interference patterns.
Let's see if I can find some more.
I gotta scan the whole thing. Okay, that was literally the whole grid. What's next? These are kind of weird little mini games I don't understand. What do they want me to do? Hey, thanks, Sniper. Yeah, no. It's not letting me do anything. Yeah, this is weird. It might be a glitch or something.
Hold up. This is coming from the moon.
A beam that blocks warp travel.
Aimed right at us.
Someone is doing this intentionally. I don't know how they're doing it. This is like nothing I've ever seen.
We're under attack and we didn't even know it. We need to stop them. Unplug whatever it is they're
A
hitting.
beam that stops a ship from moving? Where have we seen that before?
Current readings of the ion storm.
These concentrations. They line up with the interference.
That's a
pattern.
reference to season 1 of The Next Generation. I remember that episode. I just watched
coming
it.
from the same place.
Carter, whatever petty local conflict brought us here, it's just a small part of something much bigger.
Nice.
Presently, we don't have an explanation for how they're doing it.
Suspicions. Nice. We're gonna save this one for next time.
No fluke.
I don't want to be Yeah, we're gonna save that one for next time. We'll call this part 1. That was a pretty fun stream. I am enjoying the hell out of this game. We will continue it again, probably next, I don't know when. I can't plan YouTube stuff. I'll be like tomorrow, and then it'll be next week. I'm also finishing Fallen Order. I got my channel back, so I can stream again. It was gone for like a week. But yeah, this really has, like, I was getting Mass Effect 1 vibes from it, just walking around, talking to people. It felt like being on, like, the space station in that game. But, yeah, we're going to continue this one next time, and take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and live long and prosper, right? See you next time.